Is everyone ready for this weekend? I know there's a big event happening on Sunday, but Hollywood is still releasing new flicks, and they are a doozy. First out the gate is Gods of Egypt, a movie that's gotten some controversy over its casting decisions, but honestly, that's the least of its problems. Here's a clip.
What do you want?
Immortality.
Immortality awaits us all in the afterlife.
I don't want to die. I want to live forever. Down there in the lands I conquered, my kingdom. This should be my reward.
How? The only way to achieve this is unthinkable. You would unleash chaos upon creation. You would destroy everything.
Not destroy. Reshape. I will take your place, but it won't be sitting on some damn boat.
I'll give Gods of Egypt this. It's pretty to look at, and clearly there was an expense and craftsmanship put into the production, from the costumes to the sets to the special effects. The way they scale these gods to tower over mortals is actually done with the right level of consistency. Unfortunately, the story was not that interesting, and the action scenes just become mind-numbing after a while. When the first sword fight happens, it's well choreographed and exciting. After that, it just becomes a series of flashing lights, and I was not invested in any way what was going on. The film just keeps throwing a bunch of monsters at you, which are primarily these big teeth snarling at the characters. Oh right, we have characters in this thing, none of whom I had any personal investment in. Gerard Butler's set has the standard plan to take over the world because he's evil and there are daddy issues of some kind. It's not well explained. We also have Nicolas Coster-Waldau just snarling his way through his performance, and Brenton Thwaites looks like he's auditioning to play Aladdin when Disney inevitably greenlights a live-action version. Everyone is just flatly written, and by the end, I just started waiting patiently for the end credits to roll, as the film threw more and more flashy CGI in my face. There was the potential for a big-budget Harryhausen-esque B-movie here, but Gods of Egypt sadly fell very short of that. Next up is Eddie the Eagle, a biopic on a ski jumper who did sorta, kind of okay at the 1988 Olympics.
I'm going to be an Olympic ski jumper.
This is some kind of joke, right?
Dad, it's not like I'm taking up ballet. It's still skiing. It's just a bit higher.
You name me one British ski jumper.
Me. Eddie Edwards.
This is the classic underdog story, but this one works primarily because director Dexter Fletcher gives the film such a feel-good charm without overdoing it with sentimentality. While this is a comedy, the movie never makes fun of Eddie Edwards when he decides to take on the challenge of being an Olympic ski jumper. One can't help but admire his determination and chutzpah to go to the Olympics and participate in this event. He knows he's not the greatest at the sport, but what matters to him is the chance to show that he can do it, and all I could think was, good for you, go to Calgary and show your stuff. Taron Egerton from Kingsman: The Secret Service plays a part in Eddie's likability, and while Hugh Jackman's coach is fictional, their chemistry still feels natural. Fletcher also captures the 80s pretty well, giving the film a look somewhat reminiscent of the movies from that decade, and the soundtrack is great too. The real Eddie has said most of this film is basically made up, but that's not too bothersome because the film is very well written. The only major issue I had was the depiction of the head of the British Olympic Committee. While they did change the rules because of Eddie, his portrayal comes off as fairly one-dimensional, and this film did not really need a villain. That aside, this was an instantly charming and optimistic movie that captures the proper spirit of what the Olympics should aspire to be. Finally, we have the crime drama 999, which sadly makes me want to watch other, better films of its ilk instead.
Jeffrey Allen from Major Crimes will be heading up the investigation. Speaking of, allow me to introduce his nephew, Chris. Where'd you come from again? Zone 2, you're not.
Mom house territory.
Crossing guard. get you to come work on time.
Are you serious?
And remember, first to find a gun out there gets the day off. That's all I got.
Hey, sir, can we talk about this?
Hell no.
I'll give the film's director, John Hillcoat, this. He knows how to put together an action scene, and when the film begins with an exciting bank robbery, you think it's going to go somewhere. But then the script tries to juggle all these characters around, and they're not particularly interesting. The weakest involves a subplot with the mafia that they honestly could have cut out of this movie because it adds very little. The whole story involving criminals serving as policemen was frankly done much better in The Departed, and I wish I was watching that film instead. The dialogue is fairly trite, and the characters were weakly developed. Casey Affleck gives the best performance of the cast, helped by his character having the most dimension. Otherwise, this was just generic, even to the point of its setting of Georgia just looking like any other American state. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.